Okay, good. So the stream is starting. I'm making a tweet right now. Let's get everyone to welcome to Goblin Town.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I'm trying to type in the link, Archeo Gaming Collective.
Hey, faster. Faster.
There it is. It's boom. Tweet. Tweet, 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 tweet,
Bam.
tweet, tweet.
You done been twitted.
All right, so
You did a diagram of the kick.
well,
Sorry,
no,
I
no,
just
that
saw it
was
now.
that was Lisa.
Oh, right, that's right. That was good.
No,
Okay,
dude,
so
Yes.
better.
Good old memorable times that we will reflect on later.
yeah. So I'd like to welcome everybody back to Goblin Town. Vuvuzelas.
Wah, 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 wah.
Okay. So I'd like to once again introduce everyone to the audience. We have a theory, Genera, Graddal, Svarin, myself, the Dungeon Master, and Dagmar, who is absent at the moment, but will be returning, valiantly next time. All right. Do we need any? I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna review the notes from last time. Is there anything that you want to say before I begin reviewing the notes?
Go for it. No, just go for it.
Okay. All right. So the previous session, the party was still coming over the hill. Let's actually do that. I'm going to show the local map. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do.
We
Okay,
need like waiting elevator music.
so what you had made it over the crest of the mountain right there. So you made it over the mountain top right there, and you finally made it all the way back down to the camp. And there you're able to reunite with the shovel Hobs. Let's see. And adventures along the way. For the most part, it was fairly uneventful. You did have to find your way back again after having lost it, since you were following the stream, but there's no stream of it at the apex of the mountain. And Dagmar did try to climb a rock and fell, but Svarn caught her, if we all remember that. Upon returning to the camp with the shovel Hobs, you went and looked out for the professor, found him, and tried to explain your findings there. Except for the extrajudicial killing of Moo, which you made sure to keep.
Forgot we murdered Neil. I mean,
yeah. You tried to make sure that Fred didn't confess that crime there. There was some slight interrogation of Gale the chicken. Svarn is somewhat suspicious of Fred. Fred disappeared during that watch, and they were
honestly, Gale still looks delicious too.
Yeah. Well, Fred's like to eat chicken. They eat Gale, so mostly you guys ended up settling in for the night. Let's actually go look at the site. Let me go back to. So if you remember that when you left it, the shovel Hobs had begun excavating this site here in the northwest corner, right? This one right here. And it turned out to be some sort of complex, not quite sure what, had stairs and a platform. And there was something in here in the middle, and that they were excavating. Some sort of artifact that's sticking out of the ground. And of course, there are discussions about whether it belongs in a museum or it belongs in situ. But you convinced the professor to leave it alone for the moment, and he agreed, and everybody settled in for the night. Mostly everybody decided to set up camp on the datum. However, Dagmar decided to settle in by entering into one of the tents, Goldilocks style. Um, Evacuated? Escorted two goblins in there out, and was very insistent upon it. And the goblins repaid her kindness by trying to trap her inside the tent. She struggled to get out, and that's about where we've left off. Any questions about the last session?
No, it's still nighttime?
So, if you want, we can still leave it at nighttime, or we can time skip ahead a little bit to like the next morning or next afternoon, for you to start doing whatever it is that you next plan.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so it's the next day. So why don't you all explain what exactly is your next step? What's the next step? What's the next part of your plan? What do you want to do?
I think we've Fred decided to stay, if I remember correctly, and so did. Is that correct?
Fred. Yeah, Fred is basic. Well, I think that decision wasn't actually clearly made. You told them that they could come with you or they could stay. Both Fred and.
What did they say?
They kind of gave a non-answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe the first step should be to go check in on our new friends and see how they're doing.
Okay.
And Dagmar, no threatening Fred this time, please. Maybe a little.
Threaten Fred. Watch me do this. Got to do my method acting here, as everyone can see on the camera.
Get in it a little bit.
Yeah, got
Get in a little bit.
Like, Fred. What? It's not a threat. It's a promise.
I hate that. It's so good.
You've been very, very quiet lately. I think I'm going to ask you to talk up more today. We'll see how it goes.
Oh God, no.
Okay.
Shall we go check in on them and see how they're doing?
All right. So, so you go to where both Fred and were sleeping near each other. Fred was actually in a sleeping role, but still uncovered, unsheltered. However, was like just on the ground, and you see a kind of goblin-shaped little sign of it, like a goblin-shaped dirt thing, mark in the dirt where she had slept. Fred is still snoring, but is gone.
I wonder if is she gone, or is she joined the rest of the goblins as well as Herr Dr. Pickle, wheresoever they might be. What do y'all think?
I mean, if I were her, I probably would want to get as far away from us as possible.
Good point.
Hey, fair enough. You know, she knew that her friend was an absolute jerk and got what was coming to her. And we've been trying to find her gainful employment to the point where she doesn't have to do things that are morally questionable, which, according to that zone of truth, she didn't really want to do. So,
at this point, they're just dead weight. Sorry, what were we talking about?
You're not wrong, but I figure we should at the very least check in on their welfare. We want to see them do well, you know. So I'll pop over to where the rest of the goblins are and hear Dr. Pickle and wish them a good goblin-y good morning, and see if is there.
Okay, so social worker Gradall. I mean, Fred's right in front of you. If you went to look for him, he's on the ground sleeping.
I'd like to wake up Fred.
Be my guest. I mean, how do you wake him up?
I kind of give him a nudge with my foot, with just like a nice little. Go on, it's time to wake up.
What's that? What's that? He like looks
Hello,
up,
Fred.
looks up in surprise, and then like he looks at you, but he looks more surprised at Gale. Gale, you didn't wake me up. Well, where's your cockadoodle-doo?
Gail is a female chicken, if I'm not mistaken.
What does that have to do with saying cockadoodle-doo in the morning?
Not a rooster.
I don't believe. I'd like to roll a nature check and see if it's just roosters that make cock-a-doodle-doo in the morning, or whether all chickens do that.
And now I have to fact check this with Daryl.
Okay, roll for nature. Everybody roll for nature if you'd like.
Shoot. I may have started a bigger problem.
Okay, I am reading a blog right now called The Poultry Site.
Yeah,
And
but is it a real blog?
No insight.
Does that mean is it a real blog?
Actually, hens can cock-a-doodle-doo. It's strange, but does happen. So says Monica
What, they can?
on the Poultry Site.
Oh, Gale is
But-
strange.
But
so-
Daryl, I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, I'm looking at your roll. Okay.
I would know this.
Okay,
They
okay.
do. You're right. No, they do. They can. So what you're saying is that Zavarin is wrong, but he doesn't come off like an idiot. He just looks like maybe he mistook for a moment.
Whatever makes you feel better.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd say with a natural 20, you were actually so convincing that Gail has now decided that she's not going to crow in the morning anymore because, well, Zavarn said I can't.
You broke the chicken.
I broke the chicken.
The chicken doesn't understand common, so I'm gonna nix that.
And Dagmar is not present to talk to Gale.
Yeah, that Dagmar just can't convince him. You know, I mean, like, Gale is confident in themselves to ignore your criticisms and your small-mindedness. Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on.
I'm going to wander off to Hair Dr. Pickle and the rest of the goblins and see if I'm going to look around all over the camp and see if I can find anywhere.
Okay. You don't see anywhere.
Not anywhere?
No. You don't see her.
I see. Could I do a survival check to try to track her from where she was sleeping to wherever she might have headed off to?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Roll for survival. Okay. So Gradal finds her trail. Sees where she got up. Sees the little her footprints. Her footprints in the dirt. And you can follow the tracks, and you can see this sort of meander all about. I know this is dating myself, but this is like the family circus, where you see like the little boy, whatever, Billy, whatever, sort of dotted line all over the neighborhood. And you have to work your way past all of these goblins, going about, moving dirt around, cleaning up pots, pans, taking down tents, putting up tents, and the work of the camp, and doing all the archaeological dig that they're doing. And you have to sort of weave your way throughout among all of them. And then eventually, you notice that the footprints lead. It's a little bit hard to follow, right? Because there's a bunch of goblins stepping on those tracks. But eventually, you see that they lead outside the camp.
In which direction? Back where we came from, or south or east, or any particular direction?
Yeah, should we be heading north? Or vaguely north-northeast. Not quite exactly where you came from, but like... Because you would have...
This is why social workers are undervalued and underpaid. You try to do the right thing, try to get somebody employed in a job that doesn't involve anything dangerous, and I'm just going to head back to everybody else and sort of let them know what's going on. Well, is gone.
Not going to attempt the name?
No, I did. My headphones canceled it out.
Okay.
Randall choked on his air for a moment there.
Did I get it? I'm going to try it again.
It's out.
No, it
You
didn't
kind of have
work.
to do what I'm doing. If you notice something like I'm a...
That's what I did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, still didn't work. I guess the headphones I have are just too darn good. So, looks like she's gone.
Well, I say we just let her go. I don't know that we're gonna convince her to come back.
No. You try to get people to do the right thing, and they're not always going to do it. But you do what you can.
She's going rogue.
Well, she
She
would
is.
appreciate a theory.
Yep, I support that. But the question is, does Gail have any eggs this morning?
Gale has one egg. One egg.
Hey, DM, really quick question off to the side. If Gale lays a proper egg that is properly fertilized, can we make our own Gale?
You have to find a rooster. I don't see any roosters around.
The rooster has to fertilize the egg.
Do we have to have
I don't know what
this
Gale
talk?
does in her free time. I don't know what Gale does in her free time. I don't know how many
When a
goblins
boy
have.
chicken and a girl chicken like each other very,
Listen,
very
Gradall.
much.
That is reductionist. Okay.
That's true.
Okay, well, whatever.
You know-
Okay, no, they're just gonna say, okay, no, sorry, Varn, there's no fertilized eggs. If yes,
Okay, so there's no male chickens, there's no male roosters in this place.
in this
Okay,
situation,
that's
no.
a
But if you
bummer.
find a rooster or whatever, yeah, we'll if you want, you can breed an army of Gales later.
Gales later.
Go ahead.
We'll talk about that.
Go ahead and do your, whatever program of breeding.
Copy paste.
Cloning?
I think that's a great idea.
You want an army of Gales?
Yes. We each need a Gale.
We just
with the chicken.
Anna comes back next week, next session, and she's just like, "Why are there numerous Gales here?"
I'll tell you what. I will talk with Daryl later about an upper level druid spell we can do called Chicken Army. It basically conjures a whole bunch of chickens to do your bidding.
We're playing Zelda now, huh?
So well, yeah, we'll see if that works. But for now, is anybody up for a breakfast of oatmeal and sardines, and then we can head back and report to what's her name, Helga Lithictushi, whatever her name. Yeah, that's the name.
Okay,
So
so
we'll go report back to her on the situation with the looted artifacts and whatnot.
so for breakfast, they're actually not eating oatmeal and sardines. They're actually eating something else.
Shocked.
Wonderful DM. Please describe
Yeah.
the food to us. Use your best descriptive adjectives. Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to my notes. Okay, mm. Here we go. Let me see if I can remember the name. Okay. You notice that several of the goblins, many of the goblins, are taking what looks to be some kind of dough. They're making like a batter. It's kind of a runny batter. And they're preparing an iron skillet. They put a little bit of grease or something like that on the iron skillet, and they pour the batter onto the skillet. Makes a kind of large flat cake. So they begin to sort of fry it like that. And you notice some of them are preparing little jugs, and the jugs look kind of funny because they're kind of like the rim of it is covered in this like sticky substance, and so there's a lot of dirt sort of all over the place around it. And you see them as they sort of pull these cakes out of the pan. Some of them stack them up. They pour a little bit of the this sauce. It's very, very, very thick, viscous, translucent substance. They're pouring on top of the cakes, and it looks familiar. It looks a little like buckbeat, which you remember when Moo and Fred were making breakfast at the camp on the mesa. It's buckbeat again.
Sounds yummy to me. I'll have some.
Yeah.
So
Eat
As
anything.
long as it doesn't have sardines in it, I'm good.
sardine
I'll
heads
eat
in
it even if it does have sardines in it.
Ah, damn.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. Okay, so, wink, wink. If you haven't gotten it yet, that the breakfast of champions for Goblin soldiers pancakes. There we go.
It makes total sense. I'm more of a chicken and waffles kind of guy myself.
Well, you're gonna have to get the grill for the waffles, because you got to press it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you enjoy your breakfast of buckwheat, aka pancakes. They do have a variety of syrups for you to choose from. So go ahead. Everyone can say what their favorite syrup is.
Ooh, favorite syrup. I'd have to say a wonderful blueberry reduction mixed with a nice maple syrup to create sort of a semi aqueous slash what's the word I'm looking for? Viscous syrup. Very, very delicious with a nice deep violet color to it.
Anybody else want to say their favorite pancake toppings?
If we're talking about any kind of syrup we want, I'll probably go with like a lavender infused maple syrup, like lavender and verbena. Very, not surprisingly, very flowery.
Chinera?
I'm just gonna go with good old maple syrup.
A theory?
I'm
An
gonna
oldie but a goodie.
add some chocolate drizzled all over it.
Chocolate syrup. That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
Whatever.
Dagmar, because we gotta make room for Dagmar. Dagmar, in order to get enough to fill her belly, takes a pancake off of every goblin's plate who's sitting there in order to make a stack for herself that's like 20 layers high.
Yeah, I'd picture personally, Dagmar has this tower in front of her, with just syrup leaking off of the plate and like onto the table, just slowly making its way to us. Just like that, like pads of butter on each single one, just like shoveling them Scooby-Doo style into her mouth. And then just like while her mouth is full and like leaking syrup down the side of her mouth, she just looks over to like me and just like, "Are you gonna eat that?"
At some point, I'm gonna see how she's treating the goblins by taking their pancakes, and I'm gonna sneak off with some of my some of the regular maple syrup, and I'm going to pour a little bit inside of her bedroll, close it up nice for her for later.
Okay.
What?
We're gonna have to decide that really later because I don't know what she did after. Right? 'Cause she came out of the tent. I don't know if she slept in a bedroll or went back in the tent. I don't know what she did. So we're gonna have to decide that later. That'll be retcon later. But okay. Well noted. You've had breakfast. Fred, you've had breakfast. You've talked with Fred. Still no sight of. What are you gonna do now?
We have a couple of options. We can go report back to the shippo back in Clarg. We can head back to Oak Ridge and confront the antiquities dealer and hope that we don't end up pissing off the guard. Or we could go in search of Whistle and find out what's up.
Is Whistle still in the camp?
No, she's gone. She is gone.
Gone. I'd like to go to Oak Ridge.
I think that's a good idea. I'd love to have a chance for the two of us to try to intimidate that antiquities dealer who was knowingly selling these cursed items to people.
What do you
That
think,
guy
Janera?
just really pissed me off.
Why do I have a feeling that Gretel has a bloodlust that must be satiated now?
Gretel just like firmly grips a sunflower stem in his hand, sharpening it into a knife. It's like,
No.
you will pay.
No, nothing like that. Just I think that in informing him of I don't know. I mean, we could easily just, if he's knowingly selling cursed items to people, do you think that that the authorities might be interested in that? I mean, they're not interested in stemming the antiquities dealing at all, but now that we're able to determine the source of these cursed items and prove that he's getting them from illegal activity, and not to mention someone who's associated or formerly associated with Janera's brother, then maybe that might change things. No offense, Janera.
And taken.
Yeah, you're pretty much of the again, not to press you on this, and I suppose you'll tell us whenever you're ready, but we're pretty much of all of the opinion that your brother is currently acting like a complete douchebag. Am I right?
You are right.
Okay, then we're all on the same page with that then.
Okay, so do we want to go to Oak Ridge and confront this guy, or do we want to go to Clark and see if we can get authorities involved to take him down?
I vote Oak Ridge. What does everyone else vote?
Well, the authorities in Clark wouldn't have any sort of jurisdiction over anybody in Oak Ridge. So if we're seeking out the authorities, we'd be looking for the authorities in Oak Ridge. They're not interested in stopping the antiquities trade, but they may be interested to know that this guy is selling cursed items to people. I mean, it's caused 2 deaths and 1 kidnapping that we know of.
What if
Goodness knows how many else.
What if they're not, though? What if the authorities in Oak Ridge are corrupt to the point where they just don't care?
I'd imagine that's the sort of thing we could probably ask around with the populace and find out for ourselves.
And we fight them.
I was thinking more along the lines of, asking, seeing if we can persuade people that we meet, make friends with the people that we meet and sort of persuade them to let us know the general opinion about authorities in Oak Ridge. And now we have our own personal charm machine over here to be able to do that. No offense, Varn.
No, I'll take that kindly.
I mean,
You could
is
say
the
I
last
have.
time he needed to persuade or charm somebody, he failed miserably.
This is true.
Listen here. Eights only get you so far in life. Listen, if you roll a 1, an 8 is only a 9. So cut me some slack there. Will you?
Yeah. To be fair,
Cut me some slack.
I'm in the same boat with him. We're like dice bros with this. My thing is perception, right? I got the observant feat. I got a massive passive perception, and yet
He
every
rolled
time,
natural one.
except for the last one, every time I've rolled a perception check has been a natural 1 or something very close to it.
I'm not gonna lie, deception and perception.
Yeah.
I mean, deception and persuasion are my top 2, and I
Yeah.
have not rolled well on either of them yet either.
Yeah.
So you're right. We're in the same boat here.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that just because you're really good at something doesn't mean you're really good at it all the time.
This is true. A theory, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we should go see what's going on
Okay.
in Oak Ridge and
So to
give
Oak
Varn a
Ridge,
chance.
and let us pray that the Roll20 gods are in our favor.
There are no Roll20 gods here. It's just Daryl. Daryl's the god here. Trust that Daryl won't hurt us.
I don't think Daryl can control Roll20.
Well.
Maybe not.
Wow.
We don't know his power. We don't know his power. All right, we don't know it.
Well, why don't we say our farewells to Herr Dr. Pickle, remind him to keep his mitts off of any of the cursed items, and we'll hit the road.
Okay, I'm gonna do my Dungeon Master sort of
No
thing.
evil laughs, Daryl. Daryl, no.
Did you see him earlier? He was literally twirling his mustache.
Oh, yes.
I didn't see him. No, he's doing it again. Knock it off.
I need a hat. I need like a black hat.
A bowler hat.
I want you to be careful about the description. I want you to explain what the professor should be on the lookout for. What specifically should he not touch or not dig up or whatever? Give him very explicit instructions.
Hmm.
So, what do
Sorry,
we
go
know
ahead.
about these things? Well, I was just
We-
gonna say, what do we know about these artifacts? Like, usually they're made out of this weird metal, right?
They're all made out of the same exact strange metallic substance. There are a great deal of different variety in terms of size and shape and design and all that. Oh God, look at Snidely Whiplash over there.
And they usually have these weird designs and markings too, right?
Yes, but the material, I think, is the
It's the
specific
biggest, yeah.
thing. Yes. So anything with this particular metal should be
Spooky metal.
avoided. Yes, should be avoided, or they should get somebody with some magic. Get a cleric in here, or get a get a somebody with get a wizard with an identify spell or something like that before you end up carting it off.
He can also just not excavate at the temple and maybe go do some household archaeology. Himself.
It's entirely possible. Now, wasn't he also saying that he was looking for evidence of early goblin civilization in this area?
We don't want to. Well, do you still use the word civilization? How often do you use the word civilization? In what context do you use that in archaeology nowadays?
Yeah, it's a very, very broad term. I mean, we
Okay.
use why am I still speaking Gretel's voice when I'm talking about archaeology? No, I mean we use a number of different terms. We use, the more technical terms we use are things like tradition, complex, stuff like that. Civilization is a much broader, much more nebulous term. So, given that we know so little about it, I think civilization seems most appropriate. But I will defer to my fellow, diggers here, my fellow archaeologists on that matter.
Talking in or out of character, because in character, Svarin doesn't know anything.
Yeah, in character, Gretel doesn't know anything either, but
Sweet, cool.
Gretel would just use the term civilization because that's what he would know. Michael, on the other hand, might use more specific nomenclature, but would need to know more about the artifacts in question to determine that. I don't know if Lisa or Bri have any opinions on the matter, but that is out of character. In character, yes, civilization's fine because Gretel doesn't know.
In character, Svarin would be place and thingy. Out of character, Jacob would say, I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just thrown off by the fact that he's, excavating dinosaurs and skulls. So
Well, but the shovel hobs.
Well, I mean, if you want, I can put back up the illustration that I did that showed what they're excavating. Let me see
No,
if I still.
it's fine. If you're done traumatizing us, it's fine.
Yeah. So, shall we let him know specifically? We'll give him the specific designs of the objects that we saw with our own two eyes and the commonality of staying away from the ones made of specifically of that strange metal.
Okay, wait. So go ahead and just actually so I get it straight, exactly what you want. Is why don't you write down in the chat in the Roll20 chat exactly instructions. So step 1, boom. Point 1, bump. Point 2, done. Point 3, bump. So that I have something to look at.
Okay. So in the chat, correct?
Yes. Oak Ridge, the Roll20 chat.
Oh, the Roll20 chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Got to find a Roll20 chat. All right. So number 1, stay away from objects made of the same strange metal as, and then I'd provide examples. And that's pretty much it. And then give specific examples of the, what was it, the Fang Ding, how would y'all describe it?
Right.
The one with the large vat with the tentacles and the lid. He's actually uncovering one right now.
The lid that I
Yeah,
opened?
the what do we want to call it?
Fancy magic jar.
No, it's
like
for remains.
Is it an
Oh,
urn?
like a vessel, like.
I mean, would you call it a relic?
Jeez. It'd be like a for remains.
Here,
I'd say
Like an urn?
I'll take everyone back to it so that we remember what it looks like.
yeah,
Like an urn. You mean like an urn?
yeah. Ceremonial vessels with tentacles and lid is what I decided to put down.
Yeah, I wrote the creepy Cthulhu urn.
Well, he won't know what a Cthulhu urn is, but yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
neither
what you
should
think.
we.
Fine. The tentacle urn.
Oh yeah. I found my Archeo dig picture.
And then there's the metal mirror with spines.
So you fancy jar. Oh yeah, because you're talking about those other things, huh?
Mhm.
Oh right. The loop.
Spirit
Wasn't
loop.
there also the cup that was back in the cemetery? That
Did
was
we call it
cursed?
a loop? Did we call it a loop?
It's spirit loop. Remember we were doing a phasmophobia thing?
Spirit loop. Yeah, spirit loop. You said there was a cup too?
We should give it back to
back
the
in the
guy.
cemetery. Oh, but
Yeah,
that's a type of object you should look out for.
I don't really remember what the cup looked like, but that's the one that the one Goblin had, right? The one that we found in the sarcophagus or in the coffin.
Yeah, that one. The one that led us on this quest.
Yeah, the one that started this whole thing.
I can't remember if I drew anything. I don't know if I have a version of that cup drawn anywhere.
Reading at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the instructions you gave him to him, okay? And so
And I'd say, and lastly, and most importantly, if your shovel Hobbs get any creepy feelings or start having bad dreams near this stuff, that's bad news.
The topic of flower.
okay, I'm reading.
Rattle, you're so special.
Now I'm going to be reading these while twirling my mustache and thinking about the next thing to how shall I approach this. Okay. Excellent. You're not gonna say anything about the wizard? You said you wanted a wizard identifier or anything like that, or a druid?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to read these for people who are listening. So Gradle says number 1. Or go ahead, Gradle. Please read them off.
Sure. Professor, so first thing that you want to do is stay away from objects made of like the same strange metal particularly the strange metal stuff. They're like the big ceremonial vessel with tentacles and lid, about as tall as a goblin. There's this metal loop with spines on it that you can see weird, scary ghosts on the other side of it. It's kind of weird. Stay away from that. There's a shell-like object with creepy whispers inside. It's someone new every time. Yeah, that shit really gets in your head. There's a ring with flower design. God, how I wish that wasn't cursed. I mean, I really love flowers, but I think that ring would be really nice, but I really don't like cursed objects. What's your favorite flower, Professor? Mine is... Oh, crap. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Right, the artifacts. So anyway, there's also a weird mirror-looking thing. It looks like a spirally eyeball on one side. And lastly, and most importantly, if your several hubs get any creepy feelings or start having bad dreams about this stuff, that's bad news, son. Ooh, also getting a cleric or wizard to identify or decurse this stuff as soon as you can would be a good idea. Now, back to the topic of flowers, and then I'll basically talk his ear off about flowers for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So, are we with the professor now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, I'm going to approach the professor, and I'm going to remove my headband of intellect, and I'm going to hold it in front of him and say, if you find anything that looks like this, don't touch it. And then I'm going to put it back on my head.
I'm going to put up a picture of Chinera. I should have her
God.
picture
Are you
somewhere.
cursed?
So I don't know if anyone has really noticed this about Chinera, but Chinera does have a kind of circlet. She has always had this circlet on.
I just thought it was a cool headband.
So, yeah, it is a cool headband. It's a really cool headband.
Hmm.
But it's a little bit something more than just that. More than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun!
That is awesome.
Farmers.
And we all just heard and saw her do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hide it. I was right in front of all of you guys.
Genera, is that thing cursed or? I mean, obviously not.
um, everything comes with a price.
Got it.
Well, okay, so the professor is very sort of flabbergasted, like, huh, don't touch it. As you see him sort of reach up to try to touch it, like, no. Oh, I see. Are you sure you do not want to subjugate that to some Goblin Intuition Science, GIS?
Yeah.
You'll be double-blinded.
I want to know, where was this made? Or did you find it? Was this given to you?
No, I found it. It's a long story.
It fell from a tree.
It fell from a tree. Yeah. Wink, wink, wink,
Sounds
wink.
sus.
I tripped
Sus.
over a log, and it was underneath the log.
Okay, I don't need to know where it came from.
Let's just say Kulog's obsession with cursed artifacts has been around for a long time.
Uses.
There wouldn't have to be any particular information that you'd like to share in that regard, in terms of any specifics or anything, would you, Genera?
Well, it's part of the reason why I'm here.
Well,
I was tasked by Kulog to find.
we're not having this conversation in front of the professor, right?
It's up to you.
I mean, yeah, you guys just asked, so we can have this conversation later if you want.
Yeah, we'll have the
It's like,
conversation
but-
not in front of the professor.
please,
I
go
think
on.
it'd be kind of fun to have it in front of the professor.
If you're
It
having
might
this
yield
conversation,
some
everyone's
results.
gonna stop and stare at you. They're like,
Yeah. You're like, what? Huh?
Oh, what?
So yes, anyway, Professor, if you see anything that looks like this metal with this kind of design, it's most likely cursed, and you should leave it where you found it.
leave it in situ, you say? That's an interesting new approach.
Who would ever think such a thing?
I did want to make a goblin museum, showcase the glories of goblin civilization, but well, I'll see. I'll see what I can do with your approach of leaving things in situ.
I mean, what you could do is maybe make your museum around the site.
He kind of
Quite
like,
bold of you to think that you can just take whatever you want whenever you want.
he looks
So
up
is the
at you.
person we found in a box.
Listen. I got no follow up. I just wanted to say listen.
You're right,
Hey,
Svarn.
listen.
Okay, go ahead. No. We're archaeologists. We're not like some adventurers going into a dungeon and shoveling and sort of stuffing their pockets full of whatever shinies they find. No, we're much more sophisticated than that. All right then. It's all right. Well, good luck to you all. Godspeed. May they smile upon you, your travels.
Which god?
That's why I say gods. Zzz.
Which gods? It makes a difference.
Well, the ones that would be favorable upon you. I don't know which ones you'd. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you don't like the god of flatulence following you. I don't know, but they
Very
can keep you safe.
Goblin.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the last thing you said.
So this is a very inclusive goblin. I like him.
Okay, so you're gonna head down to Oak Ridge, right?
Yep.
That's the plan, I think.
All right. So let me put up the map again. Okay. So with that, so I don't think we need to really do any sort of rolling. I'm just gonna assume you make it all the way down the mountain, if you will. Unless everybody wants to roll to make sure they don't get lost.
I mean,
Is
are
it
we gonna
asking
follow?
or telling?
Are we gonna follow the road there, or are we just gonna?
There's no road. You have to follow the stream down. So there's a stream.
Oh,
right here.
that's right, because we're at the. I'm sorry, I forgot we were at the camp. So
Are
okay.
you asking or telling us to roll?
That's. We can just skip ahead if you like, but if you'd like to see what sort of shenanigans you can get into, you may roll.
I'm always one for shenanigans.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. So let me see.
What am I?
I think
Survival?
Okay. Well, first of all, so then we'll do the thing that we did before. Okay. Make your travel hand. So what
Yeah.
skills are you bringing to bear here?
Where are we? We're at the arrow. We're at the camp right here.
Yeah. You're at the pizza slice.
Oh.
So we're each doing a particular thing.
Yeah. What's everyone claiming here?
I'm just looking out for dangers
Yeah, it looks like you.
wheresoever I can.
Yeah,
So
it looks like you're
perception.
gonna die, but Gradle will see it coming.
Oh,
Yeah.
perception. So Gradle has perception. I have.
Okay, what's Dagmar gonna do? And you no longer have and Fred to help you.
Dagmar is gonna fail whatever roll. Oh wait, well Anna's not here to roll it, so maybe Dagmar will have a little bit better luck tonight.
Okay, so what do you want Dagmar to do? Intimidation?
Intimidating what? Yeah, sure. Intimidation.
Okay.
Intimidate the trail.
Intimidate the trees. I'll pull survival if that's fine with everyone.
Okay.
Ooh. Sure.
Well, combined with my 6, we should be okay.
Oh, you already threw survival. I'm so sorry.
That's nearly twice as high as her survival, actually.
That's actually, you know what? That's fine. We're gonna leave. We're gonna leave that. We're working together on survival.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember where I put that thing. Okay. Hey, let me just do something here real quick. Kitten. Uh, I think. Okay, I have a couple options here. Let me roll d6, go. Okay, very good. So, as you're walking down the mountain, you are, I don't know, are you skipping down the mountain, trudging down the mountain, singing and laughing? Is this the sounds of music?
A jaunty stroll down the mountain.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see here. You're going down and you feel this bitter chill kind of hits you and it like strikes you down to the bone. It is cold. It is incredibly cold right now.
Am I perceiving the source of this cold at all? Seems to me like a snowstorm's coming.
And as you say that, you start to see little snowflakes begin to drift down and sort of begin to kind of sort of land on you. And you see a little bit of a light snow beginning to speckle and across the ground. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. We can try to keep going and push through it, or we can try to get some shelter somehow from the storm.
How bad is it coming down?
It's starting light right now, but you can see it's starting to come down steadily. And in your minds, you hear a small, high-pitched voice, rather goblinly, in your head, tell you the story of how a party of migrants were coming down over this mountain, trying to beat the winter. Were caught in an early snowstorm. Had to resort to cannibalism.
Oh, I remember that. I got bigger teeth than Dagmar. I'm not worried.
Can I do a nature check or something to see if I can determine whether this is just a small flurry or whether there's a big snowstorm coming?
Oh, well, that's sort of the part of the hand right now. Like so, no more like skill checks, but if you have some sort of magic or something like that, or some other character ability, this actually is where background might come in handy. If one of you have a background in something,
At all.
you can pull out something.
Gradall. Druidcraft.
I can definitely druidcraft a couple things. I can instantly light us like a small campfire. I've got that create bonfire cantrip. That'll definitely keep us warm.
Yes, set the forest on fire.
Well, we are by a stream where I assume that there's not a great deal of forest in the area.
Can Druidcraft not predict the weather? Am I losing my mind?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Can Druidcraft predict the weather, or am I thinking of something else?
No,
You're thinking of something else.
Yeah, Druidcraft is basically like a thaumaturgy, or a minor, not quite minor illusion. There's another couple of ones that they do, but it's a sort of minor effects, except it's through a druid, but the other versions are meant for like wizards or warlocks or sorcerers.
I thought Druidcraft can create a sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be for the next 24 hours.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That should be in the description.
Yeah, that's it.
My
Sorry.
first character was a druid.
I read it. I didn't.
That's
You
the first
can
one, yeah.
create a tiny harmless sensory effect that predicts what the weather will be. I just read tiny harmless sensory effect and then I stopped reading.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I'll do it.
create a little tingle that will tell you whether it's going to snow hard or not.
Okay. I will create a harmless sensory effect at the very tip of my nose that will tell me what the weather is going to be in my location for the next 24 hours.
A tingle. He created a tingle.
Your breath comes out of your mouth. You see white frost, and as it hits the tip of your nose, it turns into an ice ball, and then it drops to the ground and shatters.
Ooh,
boy, that's going to be a wonderful 24 hours.
It's going to be real bad. We're going to want to find shelter as soon as possible.
So to get down to Oak Ridge takes you a day, roughly. You're going downhill, but it's still a fair distance. Okay.
How far have we walked before it becomes a problem? Like before we start to actually see like the snow coming down?
Well, you're seeing the snow coming down now, and it's coming down steadily.
Oh, so we're like here, and we already start seeing the snow.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go back to the Goblin camp.
What are you scared of? It's just ice. It's just water, frozen water. Why are you so scared? Use your breath weapon on the sky.
Because my breath weapon doesn't affect with heat. My breath weapon is lightning. That's why I'm afraid. I can't heat up anything. All I can do is make zappy zaps.
So
are we too far down to find like a cave or an alcove that we could take shelter in?
A cave shelter?
Yeah.
That would take a survival check. Nudge, nudge. Does an 11 help us find a cave?
You still have Dagmar.
Oh, we didn't. Dagmar rolled for intimidation.
He can intimidate the snow.
Dagmar just intimidates a giant boulder to create a cave in the side of a hill.
What I was going to suggest is how Dagmar talked to the animals, and then the animals will tell you guys where there's shelter.
Okay.
That never works
out animals well. Around? Dagmar has failed every animal.
To the animals. She gets no information.
He always asks the weirdest questions.
Dagmar. Okay. So in Dagmar's character, let's say, is there a squirrel walking by, Daryl?
Yeah. You. Okay. So
there's a squirrel. Let's hear the conversation between Dagmar and the squirrel, but where the best shelter place would be for multiple individuals.
Okay, so right there, that question doesn't make sense from a squirrel's perspective because a squirrel is small. So you need to be more specific. So I'm going to be Dagmar and actually ask a better
Go
question,
for it.
which is, where is a large rock, like a big rock or dirt, like as big as a tree or bigger than a tree, that has a hole in it, a hole that's big enough for us to fit inside? And then the squirrels will then sort of point out, like, oh, okay, over there. And then they describe to you to go further down the stream, and there is a patch of there's a location along the stream where it kind of clears out a little bit, and there's very large rocks sort of sticking out, and then you find it fairly easily enough. Dagmar can actually ask for more directions from other birds or other animals that you see, and you find a cave. It's kind of a it's you got a rock face in the cave on the inside or at at its base, a little bit away from the stream.
The first time ever I trust Dagmar's judgment in bringing us to a safe place.
You're not trusting Dagmar's judgment. It's a squirrel's judgment. Do you
As
trust the
far as
squirrel?
I know. I'll put the trust in Dagmar. Squirrel. I can only trust Dagmar's translations of what the squirrel says.
Dagmar's like, what? That's what the squirrel said. Think the squirrel's a liar?
I can hear that. I'm sorry, I lost it for a sec.
Look, here I am. I'm trying to lead. I'm the leader, and I'm late you here.
Oh, this again. Wonderful. Let's go. Let's assume that you saved our lives for this once.
This once saved your lives a lot of times. Saved you from that dinosaur.
I'm pretty sure that was Gretel.
Even there, how do you know?
The dinosaur? I was in the dinosaur's mouth. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure that as my mental notes, if you will, recall, Dagmar wanted me dead.
I mean, she still does.
Of course she does.
Like, okay, fine.
But to be fair, Dagmar kind of wants everybody dead.
That's also fair, except for the pig. Except for the pig.
That's right.
All right, so Dagmar's like, okay, if you don't trust me, why don't you go first? And she shoves you toward this cave.
Rude. I have no reactions.
Typical,
I
scared.
can-
Get out of the way. She shoves you out of the way. She goes into the cave herself.
Perfect, wonderful, love it.
While everybody is doing that, I'm going to see if I can look into the cave and see in the darker areas of the cave and see if there's anything threatening or dangerous in the area.
Like around the cave or inside the cave?
Inside the cave. Like, I want to see if my keen eyes can see in the dark.
I mean, you look inside, you don't see anything in particular special. There's the cave just looks like dirt, rock. There's grass inside, like bits of grass, twigs, dirt, detritus of some kind.
Kind of detritus.
So you're gonna like look down and look at it, and you're like, huh. Mostly looks like leaves kind of blown in, from the fall. Dirt, twigs, maybe some dead bugs. You find something, it looks kind of like a white rock, but it's shaped funny.
Does anybody know what this is?
Is
Lick it
glowing?
and see. if it sticks to your tongue,
lick
it's
it.
grown.
I vote that
You can see Dagmar keep going down. Dagmar keeps going down in the cave.
I would say if Dagmar were here, I'm pretty sure Dagmar.
Oh wait, what's that?
Dagmar would lick it.
Like Dagmar's like, I'm not hungry. Why are you asking me to lick it? You lick it.
Well, I'm not hungry either. Grandma, you lick it.
I just put the rock down and said, "What on earth makes you think that when I ask you to examine something, that automatically means to lick it?"
Because it's what we do.
You picked up Goblin intuition science from the shovel Hobs. They lick things.
I'm not going to lick it, but I'm going to examine it, and I'll do an investigation check on the object if you're cool with that, and I'll guide myself.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if you're not gonna guide yourself, I'll assist you.
Oh, well, if you'll assist me, is Zvarn helping mean that I have advantage?
Yes.
If DM allows it.
It's too small, you know. It's just like this little piece that's like this big. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to assist them.
I would help him look at it.
And it's a 16.
You're fine.
Okay. Now remember that as you investigate, investigation is not necessarily to understand what something is, but to sort of say what it is. It's not this. Sorry. Take this back. It doesn't necessarily help you understand what it is exactly, but it helps you understand what it is like physically. So you know you're kind of going over noticing like apparent details. So I'll give you a description in Discord here.
It's white for one, slightly chalky,
Fascinating.
has small pits. Oh god, I think we may have to lick it.
I told you.
Lick it, lick it, lick it, lick it, lick it.
How heavy is it?
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Mm,
I'm basically I'm asking, is this bone?
It's bone.
All right. Fine. Yeah, this is bone. There are bits of bone in this cave, which is normally not a good sign.
Well, it just meant something was hungry.
And that something may still be in there.
That was the
And I
worst that can
stop
happen.
and slowly turn to see Dagmar going further and further down into the cave.
Dagmar's probably like, I don't care what it is, I'll kill it. I'll kill anything that gets in our way.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm way bigger and stronger than anything.
so do you stop Dagmar? Do you let her keep going? What do you do?
Let her keep
I
going.
say-
100%
Hey.
let her keep going.
I was going to suggest casting Pass Without a Trace, and we could sneak in there and see what's going on. But sure, let's go with Savarn's plan.
Well, you go ahead and cast it right now. She's not that far ahead of you, like maybe 10, 15, 20 feet.
All right, I'll cast it.
Okay, there we go. Go ahead and cast it. Put it in the roll 20 chat.
Yep, doing that now. Oof.
There we go. Pass without a trace. So everyone gets a +10 to their stealth rolls. So we're just gonna assume. Well, go ahead, roll. Everybody roll stealth just to see how wonderful your stealth is. Everybody loves rolling.
Jeez. Needed that bonus.
Apologies. What are we rolling for? Stealth?
Yeah, I like how Theory rolled a 1 and still got a 9.
Hey, yo. 18.
Well, so I mean,
It'd
this
be
is
a 19 for a theory, 22 for Janira. That'd be a 32 for Janira, 21 for me, 28 for Zvarn.
Why more? What are we doing? What are we adding?
I passed without a trace.
Gotcha.
Plus 10 to each of our stealth rolls.
I would say that is not too bad.
Yeah,
What
that's
about
okay.
Dagmar
Dagmar.
needs to roll. right?
What's Dagmar's bonus? Do you know?
Let me see.
I'll roll a flat d20 for her if you want.
Okay, yeah, I can do it. Let me do it because I can actually roll
Yeah,
as
how
Dagmar.
about you do it? How about you do it? Because I didn't roll well.
Well, there you have it. I mean, the rules are not that necessary because it's just because with pass without a trace, you get a +10 anyway, so it's you're fairly successful. So you slowly go down, very carefully down inside this cave. It's a little bit deeper than you imagined. But it goes down pretty far, like maybe 40, 50 feet. It doesn't really branch off in a lot of places, but there are some places where there are sort of cracks or fissures that kind of go off, but they're far too small for you. You know, you can maybe be able to fit your hand or your arm in, but you yourself can't enter it in. Eventually ends at a dead end. Well, as you go deeper and deeper into the cave, it has a stronger and stronger musky smell. It has kind of a very strong, almost like wet fur smell. And then at the end of it, you eventually spot a bear sleeping at the end of the cave.
Oh.
It's actually bear might be hibernating. Or might be napping. Not quite sure. Nobody did nature. Okay.
Easy. That's easy enough. I've got animal friendship prepared.
You're gonna wake up the bear to cast animal friendship on it?
I just say if I can use it if we need to.
Very good. So what do you do from here?
We definitely should not wake up the bear. No, Dagmar, you cannot have it as a pet.
It's fluffy.
I just imagine Dagmar coming up to it and like grabbing it like really fiercely, shoving her face into it and like going like this, like into the fur.
And trying to ride it.
I mean, isn't her cloak made out of a bear pelt?
It is.
The bear might not appreciate her presence so much.
Well, we need to camp in here, don't we?
Yeah, so if the cave goes deeper than we expected, and deep down here in the back is the bear, maybe if we, carefully and quietly go back to the front of the cave.
Yeah, you can. So yeah, so from the mouth, let's say the mouth to the entrance of the cave to where the cave is actually sleeping. Let's make it like 60 feet. And it sort of zigzags a little bit, so it's possible that you don't have a straight line of sight once you move a certain distance away from the bear.
Yeah. Well, animal friendship is 24 hours duration, and it's not concentration. So I think there's nothing saying that it's requiring that the animal is awake for me to cast animal friendship on it.
Oh Lord.
Well, all I'm saying is there's no stipulation in the spell.
That's
Lets
true.
you convince a beast that if you mean it no harm, choose a beast that you can see within range. Oh, it must see and hear you. Never mind.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do we want to take the chance that it's hibernating, and if we just go back to the front of the cave, wait out the storm, and then leave without it waking up? Or do we want to wake it up so you can cast the spell, or save the spell if it does wake up while we're hiding out in this cave?
Well, letting it sleep, and then if it wakes up while I happen to be asleep on my watch, then that's a problem. Because then that's an extra step. You would have to wake me up so that I could cast the animal friendship on it.
That's true.
If we wake it up now and cast animal friendship on it now, then we can either be its friend for the duration, or we're able to have a fight and not have a fight while we're exhausted in the middle of the night. What do y'all think?
For waking it up.
Yeah, that sounds like the safest thing.
Trust your judgment.
I'm gonna stride confidently up to the bear, and I'm gonna try to. I'm just gonna try to rub its belly. Hi, buddy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Are you a good boy?
So you're gonna wake up the bear.
I am literally going to poke the bear. Yes. I am literally and figuratively poking the bear. And would I also be able to prepare the dodge action just in case it decides to attack me before I have a chance to get the spell off? Or to prepare the spell in case it decides to go for me.
Okay. So go ahead. You prep the spell.
Prepping the spell.
You rub its belly. Initially, nothing
Mhm.
happens. It's just kind of snoring there. That Dagmar kind of like punches you in the shoulder, like, "What are you doing to the bear?"
I'm rubbing its belly. It's just so cute. Come on. It's cute.
And Dagmar's like, "That's not how you rub a bear's belly." Like shoulders you out of the way and then like shoulder checks into the bear and then like rub the belly. Anna's gonna kill me later, but that's fine. I'm gonna assume that this is proper bear care etiquette. So the bear wakes up with a start. He's very surprised and very shocked to see all of you there.
And I immediately cast Animal Friendship.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to roll as the bear. Okay, so here's the bear's wisdom saving throw. Oh, I hope this bear saves. Let me check out the. Let me see a bear. Let's make it Let's see. Do you want a black bear or a brown bear?
Oh, not a brown bear.
Oh, let's make it a brown bear. No, let's wait. Which ones hibernate? Black bears or brown bears?
They both do.
All bears.
No, some bears actually don't. I'm gonna look this up.
Everyone roll nature.
Let me see. Bear.org.
The only
Look.
bears that do not hibernate at all are Mexican black bears.
That's funny. Okay.
And yeah, as well as sun bears and sloth bears
Okay.
are the
Actually,
only ones that don't hibernate.
you see. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take this opportunity to. Rats. I think I have to like, look this up later. I wish I had this statistic, but I was gonna use the percentile dice and use it to reflect black bear and brown bear populations in North America. So if one is more than the other, then I'd use that to the dice roll. So here, let's just say percentile dice. Let's say if it's under 57, I'm just gonna make up a number. 57. Under 57, black. Above 57 or above, brown. Here we go. Brown. It's a brown bear. Okay, so here we go. Brown bear, are you gonna save your wisdom +1 wisdom. Here we go. 5, 6. No. The bear now thinks of you as a friend, Gradal. Its expression on its eyes goes from surprise to loving, and it begins to lick you. And it
Oh, what a good
licks
boy.
you and proceeds to rummage around inside your bag, trying to get all of the flowers that you have.
Oh, he can have the flowers. I can always make more. That's okay. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. I assume. Just checking. Is it a boy?
What does it matter? Okay, I'll.
I'd imagine that's something that is information that Druidcraft would also normally let me know.
Okay, fine then. I'll say. Oh dang it! Now I'm thinking of sex ratios because it's not exactly 50-50. So I'm gonna make 52 and down female, 53 and up male. Here we go. Male.
Okay, he's a good boy. He's a good boy.
He actually tries to fit your head all the way entirely in his mouth and like sucks your head like a lollipop, like a Tootsie Pop, and now your hair is completely covered in slobber.
Oh god, and some of the dye starting to leak a little bit. Leak a little bit, and the gray is starting to show. Ah. Okay, I think we're good. We're gonna get some. I'm gonna give him another little morsel of food, and I'm gonna say, "Are we gonna get some good sleep now? We're gonna get some good sleep."
Okay, and then are you gonna like sing it a lullaby or?
Well, I was just gonna cast Speak with Animals and ask him. Well, actually, yeah. Why don't if I can cast Speak with Animals, why don't I just or Dagmar can talk with them?
Yeah, Dagmar. Just ask Dagmar.
That way, I won't waste a spell slot.
So what do you want to ask the bear?
Oh, just how is it how is it doing? Is it are you hibernating? Is there are there any like dangerous animals in the area we should be aware of? We know there's going to be a snowstorm outside. Like just general chat.
The bear says yes, it was hibernating, and then something strange woke it up. It's not quite sure what. So it's expecting cold weather to be coming since it's hibernating. Dangerous animals? No, of course not. There's nothing dangerous out here. Yeah, it just says it's gonna sleep. It's trying to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. It might nuzzle a Dagmar a little bit, like because of the bear thing on the Dagmar's wearing, trying to like, oh, that's soft. That was as soft as me. Like rubs his own arm and tries to go back to sleep. He yawns. Oh, it's past my bedtime.
So I think we're good for the night. And I'm just gonna roll up my bedroll right up against the bear's fur and just snuggle in.
Okay, it does smell very strongly of bear. And yes,
I don't mind.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so what does everybody else do?
Well, I'll take first watch.
I'll play second watch, but I'll
I
be
mean,
really
like
cautious.
it's like the afternoon. Everybody, are you?
Are we resting? I thought we were resting.
I thought we were resting because the snowstorm was coming through.
Well, yeah,
I
but
guess we can't rest. You're right.
I mean, you can't rest
All right,
in the sort
then
of D&D
I'll go sit in the
science.
corner, and I will play my lute.
Okay.
Yeah, we can all just
play a ditty.
We can have a series of different like short rests while we wait for the storm to pass.
Okay.
And if it keeps going through the night, then we sleep here.
I'm actually kind of remembering. Or go ahead, Asari. Sorry, go ahead.
Say, do we want to light a fire?
Sure, I can do that, and I'll cast Druidcraft, and there's a small campfire.
We're getting our money's worth of Druidcraft today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And then we have time to chat with Janera a bit after that conversation.
Oh, we're gonna interrogate Janera a little bit.
Oh, great.
Interrogate our friend. Let her tell us what she wanted to tell us, but not in front of her doctor.
So, is Janera gonna say anything, or?
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear you, Lisa. What did you say?
Okay. Any better?
Sorry, my dog is barking, so it's hard to hear you. Can you repeat yourself?
See if I can turn this up. So, yeah, I guess the question is, you started to tell us the story back there by the professor of how you got that headband.
Yeah. Kulog and I found some stuff as kids.
I see.
Nobody else was supposed to know about it.
And so Kulog is now still looking for stuff after all these years.
Yes.
Was he always like he was now, like he is now, or did that happen later?
No, he wasn't always this way.
So is he
He's-
wearing a cursed object?
He has many. There's one in particular, though, that was bad. Really, really bad.
What is it?
It's a jewel. This blood red ruby.
So that's what made him the way he is now, huh?
Was a lot of things. Something really bad happened to us. I think Kulog just wanted to protect us.
May I ask what it is that happened to you and Kulug?
Our family was killed.
So sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry for your loss. If it makes you feel any better, I can say that I know precisely how you feel.
Feel too bad for us because we had to do bad things.
After your family died?
Yeah. It wasn't just about we killed a lot of people. They were bad people, but we still killed a lot of people.
So, what changed?
I realized that Kulog became the thing that we were trying to stop. You know, we did these things because we didn't want people to suffer anymore. We didn't want people to die unnecessarily. Villages of innocent families. We didn't want people to end up like us. And then somehow we lost sight of that. And I don't know if it's just I don't know if it has to do with the artifacts. I don't know if this is who Kulog is now. I don't know if my brother's still in there. I know that my job was to find these things, to figure out what they were and where they were and how they could be used. And even though I desperately tried to explain to Kulog that everything had a price, every one of these things, there was a price to be paid. And now I see that that price was just way too much than we should have been willing to pay. So I left because I need to know how we can stop this. How do we get rid of these things? And can I save my brother?
Everyone needs to make a wisdom saving throw right now. Versus
Wait, hold on.
you need to make everyone makes a wisdom saving throw right now versus crying uncontrollably. Difficulty 18.
That's a 21, my guy.
Okay, so Vard is stone cold. He's cold blooded. Theory
Unaffected by the
sobbing.
pride.
Gradal sobbing.
Very sobbing.
Well, high DC then.
Roll for Dagmar.
Dagmar. Okay, Dagmar. Okay, wisdom save. Ooh, technically that's a save. Technically that's a save.
That is Dagmar's like got like the tears welling up in her eyes, but she refuses to cry. Like that, like bent over, like dry. I won't cry.
Okay.
That was intense.
Okay, so
That is intense.
we'll basically make this conversation so also make it a little bit easier and simpler. If you guys have any sort of general questions, we can do this out of character just because this is gonna take a little while, I'm sure. And it'll represent whatever conversation you think you'll have over the course of the next 6, 8, 10 hours or whatever as you wait for the snowstorm to pass. It continues on throughout the day and into the evening, into the night, and it does blanket everything. Everything does get a very nice, thick layer of snow, eventually it'll leave about 6 inches on the ground. I'm sure. Well, yeah, we'll make it 6 inches because I think otherwise it might be a little bit too intense. He might actually freeze to death.
Jake and I are from New England.
Yeah.
6 inches ain't nothing.
I know it is, but the thing,
That's iced coffee with a guy.
yeah,
Boy, when you said 6 inches, but that's pretty extreme. It's like, oh, now I know he's from LA.
no, I don't mean 6 inches as an extreme. I know that as an actual snowstorm was going to be like 2-3 feet, but 2-3 feet means you're going to be screwed as you go down the mountain because you can't get down the mountain anymore.
3 feet's nothing. You just grab a piece of metal like a shield or something. You got yourself a sled, guy.
Yeah, but remember, you don't have a straight slope. You're going to hit a tree like Sunny.
Yeah.
I'll fight the tree. I'll use Dagmar's head to fight the tree.
Right. So just to make it easier on you guys, let's not. And I want you to make it to Oak Ridge. Okay. So unless you want the 3 feet, then okay, screw it. Let's make it 6 feet. 6 feet of snow. You got to actually
What?
shovel out the cave door, the cave entrance now. Otherwise, you get snowed in.
No, it's 6 inches is fine.
Okay. You sure you don't want the 6 feet? We can do 6 feet.
Silence.
It's up to you guys. You said you're from New England. You said like 6 inches is nothing. Fine. We can do 6 feet.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Collaborative narrative.
Yeah, 6 feet is. There's a difference between 6 inches and 6 feet.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering which one you want.
Like,
How far up and down you wanted to make it.
I'd say like you could do like a foot of snow. What do you say, Jake? Where the New
That's
England is
nothing.
here.
That's nothing.
Okay, here we go. Fine, let's do this then. Okay,
Keep pushing him. Keep pushing him, Jake.
let's roll it. Let's roll it. Okay, I'm gonna
God.
roll.
Shoot.
Let's do a D12. A D12 to represent how many feet it is. Here we go.
Oh no. If he rolls,
What did you guys do? You should have just been like, oh, 6 inches? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let's do 12 feet of snow.
oh god.
We're gonna die.
The daughter
Well,
frozen.
okay. I'm actually willing. I think we can do the 12 feet of snow. This will be fun. I can't remember his name, but I've been listening to a podcast, Plot Points podcast, and I'm forgetting his name now. But he's written a book on encounter theory, and it says make it hard. Actually, make it hard. Like, not like you're not trying to kill them people you kill the players just for fun, but you're trying to make it hard, like their lives are on the line, because then it makes it challenging, makes it fun. So let's do it. 12 feet of snow. Okay. So it keeps snowing and snowing and snowing and snowing, and so you'd get 6 inches every hour.
Shit.
Until the 24 hours are up. The bear's fine. The bear's asleep. Doesn't care. The rest of you, now you have, 12 feet of snow above you.
Bummer, dude.
What do you do?
I don't panic. I'll tell you that.
What is it? Okay. We've been able to druid our way out of this so far. Let me see if there's anything in my bag of tricks.
Druid
that I
our
can
way
use.
out of this.
Let's
Woof.
see if there's anything in particular that might be able to help. Well, weather is kind of our jam, although I'm not a weather druid. I'm a flower druid.
I'll straight up tell you, my mage hand will be happy to help us move 5 pounds of snow at a time.
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
10 pounds at a time. My bad. I'm sure Dagmar can hurt the snow with the power of being angry all the time.
Well,
Could I use? Sorry.
I was going to say, like, Dagmar, I was going to use Dagmar's Intimidate to intimidate the bear, but you worked your way around that, so she can intimidate the snow now if you'd like.
Intimidate the snow. Do it. Roll for it right now.
No, she already did. That was a 13, remember?
That was 13. It doesn't really
Now-
scare the snow.
Can I ask you about? Can I ask the DM for a ruling on something?
Go for it.
I have a cantrip called Shape Water. where I can choose an area of water that I can see within
If water work
range,
on snow.
and that fits within a 5-foot cube. Well, snow is water. It's just in a different form of water. So I can
Arguably, you'd have to melt the water first, or melt
I
the
can
snow first.
instantaneously move or otherwise change the flow of the water. I can
Wait.
cause the water to form into simple shapes and animate it my direction, and that'll change for an hour. So that would be the one I'd use on the snow, is cause the water to form into shapes and animate it in direction with the shape of like a tunnel or something. I can change its opacity or color, and I can freeze the water provided that there's no creatures in it and the water unfreezes in an hour. It doesn't say anything about unfreezing water with the spell.
Can you make a giant snowman?
I could probably do exactly that, but how would that help us?
So
My
the
favorite
problem
Bigfoot.
is you can only do, like, if you're shaping it, like, or the movement of it, you can only move
5-foot cube at a
it's a
time.
5-foot cube at a time, but you can only have two effects activated at any one time. So you can only do 2 5-foot cubes. You can basically only do 10 feet.
Well, but what I could do is I could do 5-foot cube. The next 5-foot cube we cram into the 5-foot cube together. I collapse the one behind me and open up another one in front of me because it's a cantrip, and I cast it as many. I mean, it would have to be a cantrip because I would run out of first level spells for anything else.
Yeah, okay,
Like
so
someone trying to like go across a pond with like mold earth.
I mean, alternatively, I could just try to like blast all of it out of the cave entrance with like a thunder wave or something, but then we're still stuck trying to travel all the way down the mountain with 12 feet of snow.
well, I mean, you could just try to get to the top of the snow and see if I don't know, do any of you have snowshoes? Do you have your shields? I thought you were going to sled down this.
I even think I got a shield guy. Hold on.
Although, that might be an option actually for the escape water, because one of the things I can do is freeze the water, provided that there's no creatures in it. So I don't know, maybe I could turn the snow into ice, and we could walk on that more effectively than like loose snow.
Okay,
But again, that's a 5-foot cube at a time.
so it has to fit within a 5-foot cube. It doesn't have to be a 5-foot cube.
Ah.
The reason why I'm saying that is
You could do it over a length of space rather than.
no, it has to fit inside the cube. What I'm saying is don't make a big giant cube. Just make a single sheet of ice. Make it maybe thick enough, and then just break it. Or I'll just let you say, like, okay, I do that. These sections of it inside the cube freeze, but the rest don't. It's fine. It's good enough for me. I just make skis.
Yeah, that works. Make skis or make an ice path or something like that.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, and I'll just let you guys like sort of dig through the snow. I don't think it's that hard for you to sort of figure out how to dig through the snow, right?
Yeah.
Or,
And if we slept through the night, I've got an entire extra set of fresh spells again, so I could just do a thunder wave and blast away a whole bunch of snow in a 15-foot cube in front of us.
so the cave entrance. Oh, go ahead. Describe how your approach to get out of the cave.
Right. I want to make sure that that's cool with everybody else first. It's, I could always just sit back here and watch everybody dig us out if y'all prefer.
No, that sounds awesome.
No, I'll give it a try. So I'll make sure nobody's in front of me, and make sure that we're all at the entrance to the cave so the thunder wave doesn't cause like the cave to come crashing down around us. And I will stand at the front right near the snow, project my arms outward in a wave-like pattern, and basically just push everything away from me with that thunderous boom.
Okay, so go ahead and you spend that spell slot.
Mhm.
And then the Grad Doll casts Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave! So 15-foot cube. So all of the so you cast the Thunder Wave, and the snow sort of explodes out in front of you. 15 feet in front of you, 15 feet in front, up above. So there's just this big space that just boom out. This huge thunderous sound goes off. Okay, what do you guys do now? The snow is still 12 feet high, but you have this. But you can now see the sky. You can see the trees, and you can make your way out.
Yeah, we should get going then, huh?
Before the bear
Correct.
gets up.
We should.
Well, the bear's hibernating, and we've still got, the full 24 hours since I cast it. Did we want to move on and then come back to our questions and conversation with Genera, or are we looking to do that before we leave? I know time is sort of wibbly wobbly, timey wimey right now, DM, but
Yeah, now sounds like a good time before we get to Oak Ridge.
Oh, what are we doing? Sorry, I'm listening. I'm here. I'm just stuffing my face full of food.
That's good.
oh no, that's okay. We can save till later. Practically, it's just that our DM had said that we would have the conversation sort of during the night as we were staying in the cave and go through and ask questions of Genera. I just wanted to know if we wanted to do that now or later, but if you're eating, then we can definitely save that till later and wibbly wobbly timey wimey it.
It's fine. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm cool with.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess just before we leave then,
Same.
so just again, rewind. Okay. So if you guys want to roleplay it, you can roleplay it. But I also suggest that let's just take this time to sort of actually kind of make that story right now. Because I'm not sure exactly how many of the details Ellie's actually like hammered out, and so this might be a good time for everybody to sort of hammer out exactly what the details we want for this part of the story. So you can take the choice right now. We can either RP it, or we could just sort of, creative write this generous backstory right here.
Cool with either.
Flip a D2.
You guys are going to turn into Two-Face. You can't make a decision without like flipping a coin.
I will rely on decisions with dice and coins for the rest of my entire life. Fight me.
Evens and odds.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm happy to have the conversation now, but if Bry's eating, I don't want to disturb her.
Oh no, it's okay. I just will try not to chew into the microphone.
It's all right if you do. It's all right.
Unless you guys want some like eating ASMR or something.
You have some lizard jerky you got from the goblins, the shovel hobs. How about that?
Okay, that works.
They sent you off with instead of lambdas bread, it's lizard bread. Okay, good. So evens, RP, odds, creative writing. RP if you'd like.
Well, first of all, I wanted to say before anybody asked anything, I just wanted to say what a brave choice, an important choice it was that you made to leave the only family you ever knew to go help and try to find a solution. And I wanted to say thank you for making us a part of that.
I realized that probably can't do this alone, so it just happened to be fate, I guess, that we all came together to solve a completely unrelated problem.
I wonder if any of the cursed artifacts be found are similar to ones that he might have in his possession with the strange metal.
Some of them are. I don't know how many of them. I've been gone for a while. I haven't seen Kulog in years. He sent me on my mission, as it were, a long time ago. And my decision was made based on being out in the world and learning more about what these things are and seeing what Kulog was doing from outside of being in the midst of it, not being fed his lies. I see now that Kulog became the thing that he wanted to destroy.
Now, you mentioned lies. Are those lies that he's telling or lies that he's hearing? I'm specifically thinking back to that artifact that was whispering to us with voices and asking to be taken back to Oak Ridge and that
I
sort of.
think it's both. The jewel that he has. When we found these things, he was obsessed with it. And I was able to convince him for a very long time to keep it where we found it. That nothing should leave this sanctuary, this place with all this stuff. And one day I couldn't stop him from taking it, and he's never been the same since.
I don't know if you want to share this information, but where did he find this jewel, this ruby that suddenly changed him so much?
There's a place where we used to live. The whole croon that lived in our village used to always tell us not to go in the woods, that there were bad things in the woods, and that You could lose yourself. But we're kids. Nobody was going to tell us we couldn't go have fun in the woods. If anything, her telling us we couldn't go in the woods just made us want to go in the woods even more. And one day we found an opening to some place. And it was cool. It was our place. It was our secret. It was our hangout, our hideout, our club. Nobody else knew about it, just us. And there were all these things there, things that we'd never seen before. I had read plenty of books, and some of the books that I'd read had talked about an older civilization, an older people. And I thought maybe these things came from there. But we were stupid. We were stupid kids. We didn't know what we were doing. When we found that place, we should have just pretended like we never found it and never went back.
Why do you think that was? Were you also affected by these things? Was there something about where you were that in that place that you saw affected the two of you?
Yeah. It affected us differently.
How?
I wanted to know more. I wanted to figure out what all these things were, where they came from, and what they did. Kulig and I would spend hours testing everything we found, figuring out which everything did. And some of them they seemed harmless. Some of them seemed like they could even do good. One could cure the sick. But we began to realize that even the things that could do good, they had consequences. Everything had a price. Even this. And I point at the headband.
Price for the headband.
So I'm gonna step out of character for a second. I haven't completely worked out yet,
Oh,
and
okay.
me
Sorry.
and it's okay. Me and Daryl are kind of like going back and forth about this, about what it should be. So I don't know yet.
Okay, so we're gonna pause then for this conversation. What we'll do then is, because remember that this conversation is supposed to take place over the course of a long time, what we'll do is we'll revisit this, right? We'll kind of retcon this conversation as we go along. And so whenever you feel like you have more of the story, or where we've sort of come to an idea, we'll sort of flash back to this conversation in the cave. And it'll also give a little bit of opportunity for Anna next time to come in and ask her own questions.
Mhm.
Sound like an okay plan, or?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Does that work for everyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So fast forward, everybody. You're on the snow. I don't know how you're up on the snow, but you're rolling around in the snow, making snow angels. snow devils. I don't know. I don't know what your your tendencies are. Maybe you're having a snowball fight. I don't know. But how are you going to get down to the mountain now?
How are we getting down?
Are there any animal tracks that we could follow through the snow?
Well, it's fresh. It is absolutely fresh snow. There are no tracks.
Oh, it's blank fresh template.
Yeah.
I guess
Um,
the question is, can we even effectively walk through it?
Yeah, how deep?
We can try, but I can freeze some of the snow to create a surface we can walk on. But of course, it'd be very slippery. We would get down the mountains and get down safely. We'd look like bumbling idiots, but we'd get down the mountain safely.
Nobody's watching you.
And if we happen to have any areas that were very, very steep, suddenly turning that top area into ice and trying to move down it might be interesting.
Well, if you follow the stream, right, there are no waterfalls. I did not say anything about waterfalls, so you don't worry about that.
Now, is the stream itself wouldn't be covered in snow. Like even in a snowfall, streams don't become covered in snow. The stream would still be streaming.
That's true.
They're running water.
Yeah. So as long as I can use the shape water cantrip to freeze the surface of the snow enough for us to get back to the stream, we should be fine.
You're gonna walk in the water, or what are you gonna do?
Could walk near the water or near the edge of the water. I'm guessing it wouldn't be 12-foot drifts at the edge of the water.
Okay, I'll give you that. It'll be 6-foot drifts. Okay, but again, you have to get through the snow exactly. What are you doing exactly to get through the snow, or up on top of the snow? What are you doing?
Right. I'll be. Oh, do you mean to get on top of the snow before I can do the ice thing?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Any suggestions, folks?
Are there any holes inside the top of the cave? Like maybe we do some rock climbing and go up on top of the rock above the snow?
So when Gradal blasted, because it's a 15-foot cube in front of him at the cave entrance. So basically, all of the snow directly around the entrance of the cave is cleared out, and if you want, you can kind of climb around the entrance of the cave up the rock face. So that'll take you higher. But the thing is, though, remember that as soon as you step on the snow, you sink down in.
Yeah. So that's where if I can get up there, that's where the shape water cantrip would work, because I can use that cantrip out to 30 feet.
And then do what?
Well, it's because it's got a range of 30 feet. Once we get up on top of the rock face, I can cast the transmutation cantrip, cast the shape water cantrip, and create a 5-foot cube of ice below us on the surface of the snow, and then drop down onto that.
Five-foot cube. I think you're overestimating what that cube is going to be able to do. Because remember that if you have a 5-foot cube,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you step on top of it, it'll still sink.
Maybe can we make a toboggan out of the branches from the trees? Like a giant sled?
You're gonna have to like plane some wood here. Does any of you have artisan's tools, woodcraft?
Stretching.
Trying to think. Dagmar offers you to help. Dagmar offers Gradal to help him up the rock face. Do you let her help you?
Sure.
She grabs you and she throws you all the way up.
Sounds like Dagmar.
Hey.
Athletics check. 19. She tosses you pretty high up there. She's like, whoo, all the way up above the snow and then some.
Okay. Thanks, I think.
You know, kind of
All right, I'm
hit the
gonna.
rock a little hard, but yeah, you're up there, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to try from up there. I'm going to try multiple shape water cantrips to test out my ice idea. I'm going to try freezing, but then also shaping the snow to basically create a path towards the creek.
Maybe for just yourself, or but give me a little more details, because I'm still trying to imagine what you're doing here.
Okay. I'm trying to imagine it too. I can attempt to sort of draw it on roll 20.
Do it, do it, do it.
Can I do it? Okay. So this is a free hand. Let's see how this works. So like assume that like this is the cave entrance, right? Is the snow up over the cave entrance? And I blew back like the 15-foot cube would have been like this that I blew up from the cave entrance. So this is all blown out by the thunder wave.
Right.
But there's still a whole bunch of snow over here, right? And to the left over here, and basically all around, still at like this level, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm thinking about doing is using the shape water cantrip to freeze a 5-foot cube of that area. Let it sink down. Create another 5-foot cube after that, or maybe even just like sort of shape the snow. Yeah. So ignore what I just did. Instead of doing another freezing cube, basically shape the snow to create a ramp in the area that had just sunk down. So if I can, I'm going to try deleting this. How do I delete it? And draw
click
shape.
it and delete it.
So I what?
You have to click on it and delete it. You
Right,
actually have to
I'm
transform
clicking
it.
on it. All right. Oh, there you go. Trying to. Click on it to delete it. Yeah, I'm not deleting it. As DM, can you delete it or?
I'm adjusting it. That ramp is still 7 feet in the air.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I assume that when the ice block froze, that it sunk down
Okay, so it sinks down
because
a
it
little
would have
bit.
been heavier. Yeah, so it would have been heavier than the other. So I can use the shape water cantrip to use to basically put the snow into a ramp shape and then freeze that, and then just basically keep building this ramp or path on the way down. I'm trying to figure out a way to visually depict what I'm trying to do here.
Okay, so
Is anybody else having a hard time depicting in their head what I'm trying to explain that I'm doing?
So now the thing is, though, here is because it's snow to ice. What makes snow snow is the amount of air in it, right? There's a lot of air pockets in it. So what you're having to do is you're actually just compressing the snow, and because you're compressing the snow, you're not actually increasing any of the weight. You're increasing the density. Now, as long as you don't change it laterally, as long as you only compress it vertically, then the ice ramp will not sink. It will begin to sink once you step on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the thing is, I don't know exactly the physics. We're going to have to be some sort of a calculation, but you stepping on it is going to cause it to sink a lot. You as a goblin probably not as much, but the rest of the people are going to sink it, especially Dagmar. And then you're kind of stuck in the same position, right? And then
right. It's not really relevant for me because I can wild shape into something that can move across snow really easily.
Well, yeah, you're just smaller then. You can be something.
But I can't help. Yeah, but I can't help them, which is what I'm trying to do. What about you guys? Do you have any ideas?
I have another suggestion. Yeah. So you know how what ski resorts do for avalanche control is they set off charges at like after big snows to blast the snow and create an avalanche before the skiers get there, and then they clear it out. So,
All right, did you just say you want to blow me up?
no, we're gonna set chargers in the snow at the top of the, or like I don't know. You guys have like thunder breath, right? Maybe you could do it.
Siri has a grenade.
He has lightning breath.
So
Why does
he
the
has
theory have
lightning-
a pause?
what?
Why does the theory have a grenade?
Oh, I forgot about that from Moo, right?
Yeah.
A theory.
Now we could set up an avalanche and all the snow will rush downhill.
Are you going to surf the snow avalanche like some kind of cartoon?
No. Once it goes downhill, then we can walk down.
Oh.
I don't know. And then we can use Gradal's ice ramp.
All right. If you want to try it, all I want to say is that if you're going to cause an avalanche, I'd want to be safely inside the cave while it's being done.
Yeah. No one's got to be downhill or on the snow.
All right. Go for it, and I'll climb down from the side of the cave and climb inside the cave and wait for a theory to start the show.
Climb on top of the cave. I'll watch the grenade. Is Daryl gonna let us do this? See if it sets off an avalanche.
Oh, I'm just thinking like, wait, is this part of the mountain sloping enough for you to actually cause an avalanche?
That's the key.
The other thing is like you're all the way like, how do you know the avalanche is not going to? Right, because you're in the middle of the slope, right? So what happens if you blow it in the middle? Isn't the snow above you also going to come down too?
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
So therein lies the problem. Now, here's a question. How far away, like in feet, how far away is the cave from the stream?
We'll make it like 40, 50 feet.
Okay, then that's an option though. I can burn through the rest of my Thunderwave spells, and that'll get us to the stream and the open area, and we'll just use the open area of the stream to travel down to Oak Ridge.
Okay.
I'll thunder us through this shit. Okay. So I'll step up. I already made my 15-foot cube.
I want you to click. You need to click on the roll20 and do that. We need to do this 3 times, right? You did it once already. Well, You haven't actually done it in the Roll20, but do it 3 times just so we can remember for the record.
Wait, hold on. Are you using spell slots to cast Thunderwave?
Am I using what?
Spell slots?
Yes.
It's a level
I
1
can
spell.
help. I have Thunderwave as well.
All right. So yeah, I've cast Thunderwave twice. You cast it twice, and that'll get us all the way to the stream.
Nice.
Will it get us all the way there?
Okay, so there is a tremendous amount of noise. Boom! 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 Roll for avalanche.
Roll for what?
And,
Okay.
Hold
Right.
on. Roll for avalanche.
Okay. So we'll just assume that there's no avalanche. That'd be funny. So you make it to the stream. It's still sort of trickling down. It's bitter cold out here. You know. So you can just sort of now, like you described, right? The area directly around the stream has less snow. Right. But you either have to decide you're going to be basically in the stream or some edge of the stream, purposely getting your feet wet because that's where there's very little snow, or you have to kind of like trudge through the like areas that are on ground, like dirt, but still have like a foot or 2 of snow on them. So which do you decide?
So
Get frostbite.
I was gonna say is that I think that we should use Dagmar as like a snowplow, have her walk in front of us.
Wise. I was gonna say as a flotation device.
Stream's not that deep. She's gonna push you into the stream, Zavarin.
What is that? A deck save?
Okay, so if you want an actual shove, that would be an athletics.
You want her to an athletics? Am I actually doing this? Am I actually doing an athletics check?
Yes, do it.
Okay, so Dagmar is going to shove you. That's in athletics. So athletics, you can either.
Oh.
Nope. I take the athletics check. I take the athletics check. I take the athletics check.
Hannah's gonna be so pissed at this. Oh, so she tries to. Dagmar tries to shove Svarin into the stream. Oh, loser. And Svarin actually holds his ground. How do you hold your ground, Svarin?
Can I hold my ground with a mage hand slapping Dagmar in the face?
No, because it's an athletics. It's not a. And a mage hand only holds to 10 pounds. Dagmar would punch through that with the pinky.
It won't do damage. It will just be annoying.
No, but you can't hold 10 pounds worth of weight. That's the limit for a mage hand.
Fine.
Dagmar's way heavier. Her hand is 10 pounds.
Okay, then I stand my ground in like a full blown like anime, like she goes to hit me and like the wind just shoots around me, like visible wind lines. And then I just stand there in like a cloud of smoke, just staring at her, and then I just laugh.
It's like, no, next time, Svarin. I was going easy on you this time. I'll show you for real next time. She like turns away, storms off, and like begins to plow through the snow. Just like stomping really hard.
Roll my eyes and follow.
Okay, so you were all just following after Dagmar then? Following the leader?
Yeah,
So,
seems like a good plan.
so Dagmar is then going to try to plow through the snow. Another athletics. Ooh. 23. She is like a steam train, a locomotive, just like blasting through the snow. Stomp, 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 stomp. That stupid Svarin. Like, taking out her anger on the snow. Kicking it, you know. You make it down the mountain. more or less intact, but very, very cold. I'm trying to think. What are the? I gotta find a chart for frostbite. Okay.
Sounds like survival.
No, everybody make a con save.
Fine.
Yeah. The DC on that.
Okay, so Chinera's fine, Graddle's fine. Etherea's not fine.
Oh no.
So cold.
Svarin and Dagmar manage, but they are shivering. Aetheri. You don't get frostbite. Not quite yet, anyway. Super, super cold. So I want you to think of the most. I want you to think of the. I want you to think of the coldest moment in your life. How did you react? Go, Aetheri.
Oh, so I cannot feel my toes or my fingertips. I've got my cloak over my head and I'm totally shivering. And it hurts. The air is so cold. I am tired. And I need to get warm fast.
Does anyone have any way?
I pull out my torch and I use if the DM will hold on, let me check my inventory real quick. I don't have any way to like light a fire, but I have a torch.
If you have a torch, you probably have some sort of flint and steel in there. You should have a kindling.
I do not. I just assume one of us does. Can I light my torch, or do you want me to like use my breath weapon to like spark lightning on the torch? Can I light the torch or no?
Yeah, you can just light it as long as you. I mean, somebody
Okay.
has some sort of
Yep. So we light the torch, and I'll hand it to her.
Thank you. I grab it and I hold it closer than I probably should be. Trying to warm my hands over next to it.
Okay, there you go. Trying to stay warm. You eventually do make it back down to Oak Ridge. You notice that everyone's all very well bundled up in plenty of layers of clothing, furs, leathers. You see, people are still having their carts drawn by some protoceratopsises. Let me see if I can pull out a picture of one. I should have a picture somewhere. Okay.
So cute.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna make it even cuter. But now they have coats on, so the people have actually put blankets and stuff like that to keep them warm.
On. No. No, that's
Or-
too cute. We can't. No.
They should have like little fur caps as well. Maybe knit caps. They have knit caps.
Knit caps?
Yes.
Do they have little booties too?
Wait. Do the knit caps go over the whole horns and everything,
Yes.
or do they just go like? Oh my god, that's too much. I can't
Yes,
handle
all the way over the top.
it.
Booties. I don't think they can get booties. Let's give them leg warmers. Let's make them like James Fonda or Jane Fonda.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Any fan art people who happen to be listening on Twitch, please take notes.
Yes, we do have a fan art section on the
Please,
website.
please,
so
please, 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 please.
share your fan art and we
must
will post
see a
it.
picture of this.
And business is going on about Oak Ridge. So what do you guys do?
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I could use a warm meal and something warm to drink.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Time for some Ovaltine?
I mean, I was thinking hot chocolate, but okay.
Hot chocolate sounds good. I'd like a hot chocolate with like Bailey's in it though.
Nobody wants
I'd like some
champurrado?
alcohol as a dragonborn.
Try to find the warmest looking inn we can find.
Yeah, because I think the torch is doing well, but Ethereum probably would appreciate being inside someplace warm.
Nice big fire in a cozy room.
Okay. Um. I'm trying to I'm gonna give you the name of an inn, and I'm trying to think if I want to play this straight or if I want to make this really funny. We have actually also about we have about 15 minutes till we end. I don't know if I think let's just go find the inn and then we'll start in the session right there. If you'd like. Is that
Yeah,
fine?
that sounds like
Okay.
a probably good spot to stop. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a few options. I'm going to give you the options of a few different inns that as you're sort of wandering through Oak Ridge, trying to find an inn or a tavern where you can warm yourself. So I'm going to give you some names. I'm going to put them in the Roll20 chat. So the Hill Giant's Pit, the Fireball, Maple Tree. Let's see, Acorn Pile. Let me see, Gold Slide, and I want one more. I need something that really triggers everybody. Yeah. Here we go. The last one's called Trowels and Fossils.
Oh god, we gotta stay there now.
Fossils. Yes. Let's do it.
Off to trowels and fossils, I suppose.
Yes, please. I love it.
Up to you. Okay, so where does everybody want to stay?
Trowels and fossils. Come on.
Do we have like a Goblin Town version of Yelp to see which one has the best rating?
No, we don't. Trowels and fossils is clearly the best.
All right, I'm going to repeat this joke from Critical Role, but it'll work.
Not coming through, whatever you're saying.
Yeah. Discord just completely garbled that.
Yeah.
I completely garbled it. I was literally yelping.
Oh.
The trowels and fossils, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to the you enter into the inn that's travels and fossils. Okay. Okay, this inn, you're kind of you come to this inn and you're kind of confused by it. You look at it and first you think it's like it's maybe like a one-story building. But then you think like, wait, is it two-story building? You can't quite tell because the ground floor is kind of like one architecture. It's kind of clearly done. And then the next layer up is a little bit further back, and there's a bunch of like stuff that's on top. That's on top of the ground floor, on top of its roof. And then it keeps as it moves further back from the facade, it looks like maybe the second floor is connected, or maybe it's a different building. You can't quite tell because there's a bunch of stuff on top. Barrels, crates, shovels, picks, and on the side, similarly, you're kind of like not quite sure if it's one building or if it's like three buildings in a row, or if it's one building connected, because everything seems to be sort of like kind of packed and quilted together in terms of a building. And there's just stuff strewn everywhere. There's like broken wheels, carts, saddles, piles of rope, more barrels, more crates, kind of like canvases. You think what else can you think? A couple of like statues, maybe, but they're really worn, kind of broken. And it's just a rock or is it a statue? Not quite sure. It's just this menagerie of objects sort of surrounding this thing, and of course, there's bones, antlers. Um, you think maybe there's a taxidermied animal sticking its head out of one of the windows? You're not quite sure. Covered in laundry.
Great. Of all of our choices, we picked the 1 star.
This looks more like an Airbnb to me.
This is where we get murdered.
Basically, yeah.
Well, Dagmar's like, look, we're here. A theory is freezing to death. Let's go inside. So,
Yeah.
Dagmar tries to sort of escort their theory and kind of like slams open like the saloon doors. Just dun, and like kind of stomps in.
All right. Is there a fireplace inside this saloon?
Okay. Perfect. So you step inside. It is very warm. Okay. So something you probably would have noticed actually from like all the buildings now are kind of spewing out smoke and steam because everyone has fires they're trying to stay warm. Inside here, there is a giant like stone head that almost extends to the ceiling. It's not that high of a ceiling, right? The ceiling is only like maybe 8 feet high. It extends almost all the way up like 7 feet, 6, 7 feet high. Giant stone head. And it's got this kind of vicious looking face. It's rounded. Let me see. Here we go. It's got like this big nose and very large eyes. And like horns kind of sticking out the side of its head, and giant teeth, like fangs. And its mouth is slightly open, kind of in a smile and a grimace. And there's a fire inside its mouth. And the whole head is kind of reddish.
That's extraordinarily cool.
So that's actually a reference to something very D&D classic. Wink, wink. Hopefully you get it, Michael.
Yeah.
And so everybody starts sitting around it, like trying to warm themselves. you notice actually in this, there's quite a few people around. And one of the things that you notice is that most of the people in this tavern seem to be dwarves. You see, most of them are like most of the people you see are shorter with like really big, bushy beards, so you can tell that they're dwarves. A human comes up to you, the bar attendant. The person is sort of well bundled with their hair a little bit greasy. A woman kindly offers you, well, what would you like? Would you like to warm yourself by the fire? Would you need a drink? We have a nice stout ale to warm your bones. Do you need a bed? Are you here for the convention?
Convention?
Yes, yes, and what convention?
She then begins to explain that that many of the guests here, and she sort of waves around, seem to be going to some sort of convention located in Clarg. Something about antiquities, paleontology, archaeology. She can't quite sure. It's very big words. Doesn't quite sure. Didn't make it past 6th grade. So I am going to. Ooh, do I have them on me? Okay, give me a moment. I need to go check something here. Oh, I haven't actually finished these ones yet. It's fine, I'll... Am I getting feedback from someone? I hear a weird voice in the background.
I might should be muted.
I can mute myself, rule myself out.
Huh. Oh, wait, okay, well... I'll have to take me a moment. I'll have to upload these later to the Discord. I'll put them on Twitter later. But you notice, at least... So here's one example of the dwarves. So you notice that the dwarves, all of them seem to be carrying a lot of books, papers, weird gadgets. None of them seem to be carrying weapons, or none of them seem to be like what you'd typically think of either manual labor or someone working in town. They all seem to be kind of odd looking. And they all seem to be talking very excitedly about something, talking with one another. They'd be like arguing quite a bit, but in a very collegiate manner.
Are they drawing on napkins?
They are. Some of them draw. Some of them are scribbling in notebooks. Some of them are tying knots on threads. One of them seems to have a screen and is sifting dirt through it, upon which the bar attendant or the server like kind of scolds him, like, "No, don't do that in here."
Screaming inside. Thanks.
The server says, well, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but if you'd like, you can talk to them.
Do they have badges indicating
Right?
what conference they're going to?
Walked into an
They
arcade.
have like lanyards around their necks or anything.
They don't have lanyards. Many of them are well tanned and have straw hats. And all of their clothing, all of them, every single one of them to the T, their clothing is very, very brown.
Okay, so this is exactly like walking into an archaeology conference. Where you look around and you're like, yep,
That's-
these are archaeologists.
Yep.
Yep,
Uh-huh.
that fits.
Yep.
I'd argue, but yeah. Essentially exactly what you're saying.
With the occasional, like person dressed in their tweed sports coat with the leather patches on the elbows.
I need
I
one of those.
Yep.
I mean, Daryl needs one of those.
To go along with his pith helmet and his monocle.
Oh my god. Yes. That with the mustache, and all he needs is like hiking boots, and then he's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And they also have the copious amounts of alcohol, too, that you normally find at archaeology conventions,
Yes.
especially on the last
For
day.
legal purposes, I'm just gonna say Zavarin loves copious amounts of alcohol. For legal purposes. That's
There you
how I'll word that.
So do we want to wait until our next session to interrogate these individuals? And for now, we'll say we just spend the next couple minutes of our session sitting down by the fire and warming up.
Yeah, sounds
I
like
agree.
a good idea. Yeah.
So I assume that you go ahead and describe what you're all going to drink, and then we'll close out.
What are
I'm
our
gonna have
options?
some hot tea.
What kind of tea? We have matcha, omiya cha. We have what else do we have? Rooibos. Yeah, Rooibos tea. Earl
Oh,
Grey.
Rooibos, thank you.
There you go. Michael.
Bradall is intrigued by this thing that he's never seen before called stout ale that the dwarves appear to be sampling. So he figures he'll give it a try.
The server gives you the stoutest of ales. Says that they're out of like cups and mugs because of everybody around here, and hands you a bowl. It's a very deep bowl filled.
It's exactly like an archaeology conference. Only they haven't run out of beer yet.
Okay, Tanera.
I will take an ale as well.
The server offers to put a dash of cinnamon in there, if you'd like.
Sure.
There you go. A real fireball. Okay, this is Varn.
Take one of your darkest ale.
One of the what?
Darkest ale.
The darkest ale.
So basically, what he's having, what Gradall's having.
When you say the darkest ale, the server like nods and then like hands you a okay, so since we're out of bowls, so there's another bowl in, and you notice that it's black. Like black.
Like black.
Like it almost has no like the fire is supposed to be going, and you should be seeing like the reflection of the flames in the bowl and like the liquid. You don't see reflection. It's black.
Like absolute black. I'll go ahead, take a swig of this is in a bowl, you said?
Yes.
Take a swig of it, one-handed. No, one-handed. And I'm just gonna say, what is this anyways?
That's a special black ale that we have imported. It is especially enchanted.
With what?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to like show my hand a little bit. I'm actually not an alcohol drinker, so I'm not exactly sure what a stout ale is supposed to be like. But you taste it. It's very strong. I'm gonna say it has hints of black licorice, but not quite. A little bit, maybe a little bit of the cinnamon in it. It burns kind of going down, and it
Wonderful.
almost feels kind of thick, kind of almost like a smoothie, but not quite.
Good.
And it goes down, but it goes down, and you feel quite warm.
Perfect. I'll continue to drink it.
Okay, Dagmar will take a hot chocolate,
With extra marshmallows.
exactly, and whipped cream on top.
Naturally.
Sprinkle dash of cinnamon. No questions asked, no judging. And we will leave our party here, warming their feet by the fire in this Moloch fireplace. Curious about what they're going to ask these antiquarians. And we'll catch you all next time on Welcome to Goblin Town.
Bye, everyone.
Fantastic. See you next time.
Ready?